This is the Godox V1. I've officially decided to dump all my Canon series flashes in place for this one as not only my main on-camera flash, but also the ecosystem of flash that I want to build off of. Now before we start, I just want to point out real quick that we are at the 495 subscriber mark, which is crazy. I haven't even uploaded 10 videos on this channel yet, and we're already about to hit that 500 mark. And I'm just really grateful for it, you know. To everyone who clicked, subscribed, commented, and just interacted with this channel in any way, thank you so much. It really does mean a lot. Appreciate it so much. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Now let's get back to the flashes. Now my first flash ever was a Chinese brand flash, and it was nothing special. It is called the Yongnuo 560 IV, and I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it is a cheap but great flash, under $100 if you're first starting out. If you're a beginner and you're just starting out and you're trying to learn how to use flash, I still recommend this one because it has a lot of the same things that the more professional flashes have that we're about to talk about. It has a swivel head. It has a little tiny diffuser up top that you can pop up. It has a lot of the things that you need when you're just trying to learn and figure out how to use flash in the beginning. And it also comes at a significantly cheaper price, under $100. So after using this, learning, and getting the hang of flash, I decided to invest in something a little bit more professional. So I did some research, and at the time, everyone was recommending the Canon 600 series flash. This is the 600 EX2 RT, and this was the go-to flash for most event photographers and wedding photographers that shoot Canon at the time. So I decided to pick one of these up, and honestly this was everything that I needed in a flash. And at this point I was using this flash for everything. It was my go-to flash, and I still had my Yongnuo flash as a backup. I even added this attachment on the flash that allows me to magnetically put on a diffuser if I need to. This is the MagMod attachment for flashes. I did ask them if they could sponsor this video and they ghosted me. So I will say that these are great, but they are insanely overpriced. Now with the price does come some pretty good ease of use, and being able to just throw on attachments quickly like that is a game changer when you're doing event photography. Not only does it have the diffuser option, but it also has different color plates and gels, so you can really get a lot of different effects, and it snaps on in seconds, so it makes it super easy. It's also a pretty good tool to learn how flashes, different strengths, different colors affect your image, and you can use it for a lot of different things. So as I used these flashes more and more, and as my team grew, I found that the Yongnuo flash, it just wasn't doing it for me or my second shooters anymore. The overall quality, strength, speed didn't really compare to the Canon one I was using, so I needed an upgrade. So I was in the market for another flash, and at first I wanted to just get another 600 series Canon flash because it worked very well for me, and having another one, whether it was for off camera or if it was for my second shooter, would come in handy. But after looking around, I found that these were actually unavailable everywhere, and they were actually discontinued because Canon released a new line of flashes, their EL line. Now I saw a few negative reviews about these new line of Canon flashes, how they were not compatible with some cameras, or that they lost radio control every now and then. And when I looked at the price, they were significantly more expensive than the old series of flashes. So I was hesitant to drop all this money on this new EL series of flashes when I didn't know much about it. So I decided to do some research and see what else is on the market. And this is when I was first introduced to the Godox V1. Now after watching a bunch of reviews and videos on this camera, I finally decided to pull the trigger and try one. And when it finally came time to start using it, it worked perfect right out of the box. It was so intuitive. It's very similar to the Canon one that I have, so I was very familiar with all the buttons and all the dials instantly. And after using it for a few months, I found that I kept reaching for it more and more in place of my Canon 600 series flash. I even got the same MagMod attachment for the V1, so I can add my diffusers just as quick. And I was really impressed with how the V1 performed. Now, when comparing these two flashes, there's a few things that first stand out to you. The first thing is, one is a rectangle, one is a circle. They claim that the round head has a softer, more evenly distributed light, but honestly I can't really tell the difference at all, especially when putting a diffuser on both of these flashes. it really won't make a difference. Now there's definitely pros and cons to this, and a downside of this is if you forget to charge right before a shoot, then you can't just walk into any store and buy a couple AA's, because this proprietary battery needs to be charged before every shoot. Now what I do with my Canon flash is I go on Amazon and I buy the Amazon Basics AA batteries. Now these are not the most high quality, they don't last the longest, but they're only $30 for about 100 batteries. So that comes out to about 30 cents per battery, and it doesn't really make a big difference because it'll last me a while. So with the V1, you'll just have to add flash batteries on the list of things you need to charge before a shoot. And again, worst case scenario, if I do forget to charge my Godox one, I have the Canon one and it works just as well. Another thing that really impressed me about Godox as a brand is the vast and pretty extensive catalog of different flashes and lighting options that they have that communicate very well together, and they all work in a really good system. The seamless, easy connection part of it definitely won me over. I quickly glanced at the catalog that they had and I was pretty excited to see all the different off-camera flash options they have, and I'm looking forward to building a setup, whether it's multiple V1s or even a more powerful studio-like strobe setup. Now, a few cool things that I've noticed about the V1 is, one, that it's really easy to use. Like when I give it to my second shooters for the first time, they pick it up very quickly. They're able to navigate the menu systems and figure out their settings pretty quick when they've never used the system before. Now, another cool thing that I've noticed is here, if you're wanting to change the settings, usually you have to spin this dial all the way around back and forth, but if you actually press the up and down button, you're able to quickly change to the different stops a lot faster than spinning the dial around all the way. This comes in really handy if you're trying to change the settings quick and easy and you don't have time to fiddle around with the dial. Another really cool feature that the Godox has is you can turn on this soft light, and this is a constant ray of light that you can use for all kinds of things, whether it's for video or a rim or an edge light, or just in a dark room to light up a subject. I haven't used this very often, but it's cool to know that it's there in case I need it. Now, usually if I have to choose between a Canon product and a third-party product, I would usually always pick the Canon product, especially if they're both pretty similar. I would just go with the Canon one to keep it in the ecosystem. Even though the Godox is pretty similar to the Canon 600 series flashes, it's definitely won me over. Now, I don't know too much about the new line of Canon flashes, but I do know that they're a lot more expensive. And at the end of the day, I'm looking for something to replace my Canon 600 series and do a good job at it. And the Godox does that, plus a lot more. So I'll be using the Godox flashes from now on, and I'll probably be picking up a few extra ones of these too for my second shooters and also to do off-camera flash. And so let me know if I made the right decision and what camera flash you're using. So if you want to check out the Godox V1 or any of the other gear I use, I have links down in the description below. Make sure to check those out. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Again, thank you so much for 500 subscribers. This is huge, and I'll see you next time.